Shalom salam upon the people of peace. I thought we'd look at wealth creation and the children of God. Interesting fact, Yeshua Messiah, aka Lord Jesus, spoke more about money in his stories and teachings about God than any other topic in the New Testament of the sacred Judeo-Christian scriptures. And of course, when we go back to the Old Testament of the sacred writings, we see there are many references and guidelines to diligence, hard work, saving, lending, all sorts relating to wealth creation and so on. So yes, the sacred writings are a very good guide to money management, money and wealth creation. And just because money is temporal doesn't mean that it can't be very useful so long as it doesn't become an idol, something you put first in your life. But yes, the Lord Jesus, aka Yeshua Messiah, was very practical and relatable in his teaching. He realized that people needed money to survive, that there were many viable businesses that contributed towards the stability of the economy and the class system at the time. Obviously, there were problems he had to address, like corruption and taxation, avoidance or extortion, and these we will look at as well. When I first started my brand, Jessica Thinks Creative TM, hashtag Jessica Nell, it was from a tiny little YouTube channel that was an offshoot of a church broadcasting service. I'm very grateful to the church in regards to this, as they gave me my chance to launch into the world of digital content creation and wealth creation. Lord Jesus gave me a promise that I would be a fisher of men. Now, when you think of fishers, in the technical term in computer land, that's when a crook tries to fish for your financial information. And I think the Lord Jesus was quite clever in his use of the symbolism, because he told his disciples that they too would be fishers of men. But in this respect, he was talking about fishing, as in going out in a boat or sitting on the side of the shore with a fishing line and managing to catch a huge catch of fish. So yeah, the Lord Jesus has been faithful to that promise. I have managed to really engage the attention of many people, and especially the people in big tech. Yeshua also explained to me that he had given me talents or gifts that I needed to invest in my work and my art and my film and photography and writing and research in order to bring about not only income for myself so that I wouldn't be a sponge on all these wonderful fish I had caught, but also because I needed to really invest not only for my own enjoyment and fulfillment and financial security, but also for the future. And I'm not talking about the future when I'm sort of 86 years old and sitting on a rocking chair. No, I'm talking about eternity. Because basically what the Lord Jesus was saying was, use your gifts, use your talents, use all the money that you are making and that other people are making because of your gifts and talents to bring people into the kingdom, that they too might enjoy eternity in heaven with me and you and all our loved ones and our past pets. Relates everything the Lord Jesus was trying to emphasize to his disciples about wealth creation, that you utilize the gifts, the talents, the money that you spend, that cash register, ultimately for his glory and to bring people into the kingdom. A little background to my business and my brand. I'm trademarked Jessica Thinks Creative TM, which means that no one else is legally allowed to have my name. And I suggest you invest in a trademark should you start your own brand or business. You don't have to be registered as a business to trademark yourself. And in fact, I still only earn a generous allowance from my sponsors for the work I do. But because of my disability, I'm not registered as technically as a business. When it comes to taxation, everything is calculated by my Norge's Sovereign Wealth Fund and my sponsors and the government. So that's all above board. I would strongly advise never get into debt, because you'll spend all your capital liquidity paying off someone else's money that they've lent you, plus interest, and you'll have no capital to pump back into your business. Capital liquidity is very important for a business. Capital liquidity is all your spare cash that you've got after you've paid your bills and given to charities or what. Capital liquidity means that you can invest when you need to invest. So for example, like I have capital liquidity to purchase my Google subscriptions, or say for example, to purchase my Temu wigs, for which I'm a brand ambassador, or to purchase my art materials, or to pay my phone bill. So yeah, capital liquidity is important for any business. I'm blessed in that I live in social housing, and I'm not registered as a business, so I'm allowed to work from home. So I have no overheads in terms of rent or expensive staff to pay or anything. If I had to utilize staff, I would always outsource. So for example, when I start publishing my books, I'm going to simply outsource that to Amazon Kindle, and they can all do the heavy lifting in terms of printing, delivery, paying their staff, and then obviously I pay them whatever it takes to upload and to print and deliver the books via Prime and also onto people's Kindles. So yeah, that's an example of how I would deal with staff. I hate managing people. I'm not a very good manager, and I think it's a known fact that CEOs or chief executive officers do tend to have rather big egos, and they're not very good with people. So yeah, I say I take after Steve Jobs a bit. I can be a bit snappy, but I'm trying a lot to learn from my LinkedIn thought leadership team not to be such a cow. And they do brilliantly teaching me. They always say, be that leader that gives someone else another chance. So yeah, that's pretty cool, that is. And what I would advise anyone going into business is that you find yourself a business mentor. Someone who can guide you through the ups and downs, whether it's your mum, your dad, a teacher, or a local businessman or woman who you trust and know very well, or someone at your place of worship. Loyalty and integrity in business are possibly the two most important attributes that any business person should have and should seek to have in business connections. As you can see, featured here are my girl tribe, people who follow me and who I promote on social media. And of course, I have their backs, and I try to be loyal to them because they're brilliant businesswomen themselves and very gifted and talented and beautiful. And I must say, I've learned a lot from my LinkedIn thought leadership team. They have been incredibly loyal to me throughout the ups and downs of my schizophrenia and bipolar disorder episodes. So that's something I've really learned. And of course, from the Tesla team and Mr. Elon Musk. Incredibly loyal businessmen, incredibly empathetic, incredibly compassionate, incredibly patient. I really don't know how they put up with so much from me in it. I really want to say how grateful I am. So getting on to taxation, this is obviously important. Jesus said, give to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's. Caesar at the time was the chief ruler of the day. And of course, giving to your favorite charity or faith organization Don't be pressurized. Give what you can.